Hi guys, welcome to the channel and to another how-to episode. Chains, motorcycle chains. So many people don't fit them properly. I'm going to show you how to in this video. So let's roll the tape and get into it. Right, chains. Killers these are. When they're not fitted properly. Got a nice lovely fresh build to fit one to today, and chain selected. Always never cheap out on your chains. Buy good quality chains. I can't stress it enough. Do not buy AliExpress chains, do not buy 30 quid eBay chains. They are the same thing. Buy branded chains. It doesn't have to be DID, just a branded chain from a reputable seller, whether that be on eBay or direct from the manufacturer or bike parts shop or whatever, you know. But just do not buy shit. In here, nicely presented package, we have a brand new 520 DID chain, VX3. So it's the O-ring chain. You get little O-rings in between them all. Come nicely greased. Absolutely beautiful. You get two links in here. Now, one is the wrong way of fitting it, and the other is the right way of fitting it, and that's the whole purpose of this video. Right, so these links, this is what's in the packet. You get your little bit of grease, you get your 4 O-rings, and you get two different types of links. You get your top plate that goes on, and you get this stupid little clip, which is the bit we're not using today. It's already bent out of the packet. Look, you know, people say, oh, why, you know, if it's not good enough, then why is it in the pack? Well, that's because motocross riders also use these chains. This is a 520 chain. It's a smaller pitch chain than a standard super bike. We do that to reduce weight and you know, unsprung weight and rotational mass and all that sort of stuff. So that's the reason this link is in here. These links are for motocross. Don't use it on the road. Don't use it on a road bike. Anything more than 80 to 200 horsepower or plus or whatever, do not use that link. You will die. You will die, mate. So, it's these ones. Got a little divot in the end. How we fit these is with a tool like this. There are other tools in the market, but just don't buy the cheap, nasty 15 quid chain riveting tool things from eBay. They're wank. Absolutely do not work. They wouldn't even rivet the chain the first time. I've tried using one of them before. The tool broke and it basically made a little indent in there, and I thought, that might be good enough. I took the bike for MOT and the guy went, your chain's about to fall off, you haven't even riveted it. And he luckily riveted it for me, and he's the one that told me about these. So basically, this section here is for solid rivets, so we don't need to use this. I do use this to press the back plate on. Sorry, we do need that bit. I don't know why I threw that bit away. So to push the top plate on to there, because that is quite a push, we use this, and then I can measure the distance. And then we get this bit, we take this bit out, we put this bit in. That pushes into the rivet, into the divot there, and it splays the end out. And that's how we fit a chain properly. So onto the bike, and I'll show you how it's done. Right, so we thread the chain around. Will it match up to where we want it to be? I will just go back a bit. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's quite a bit of slack once we take that up. Let's sit about there. Yeah, I'd say that's okay. So there we go, that's handy. Right, so this is the important bit, the link. We want to get our rubber seals. Two rubber seals. on there, and then we want our assembly grease. Just squidge a little bit of that on there. Give it a rub around with your fingers. Now these O-rings are meant to sit over this little step here. So what I do is I just put the link through. Right, so I just put the link through, put it through from the back. Right, now I just give it a little wiggle and sort of in and out motion just to make sure that them O-rings seat properly. Then we want our other pair of O-rings. Just plop them on there like that. Again, with some assembly lube. Assembly grease. Just smear some of that on there. Now I've just noticed I've just got it in the hole of the in the divot, and I remember this is the main reason why I wanted to do this video. I just completely cocked it up myself. You don't want any grease in these holes, because what will happen when you compress it, it will explode, and explode it will. I've had it happen to me, so I'm going to have to get something to clean that out. A couple of cotton buds. What I'll do is just clean the majority of it out now. So now we've got our back plate. It's got some numbers in it. 520 VX3. I just make sure they're the right way up. Again, not 100% necessary. Right, now before we clamp this on, the proper way to do it is with verniers, but I've just realised that I've left mine at work, so I can't use mine. You want to make a note of how wide these links are. I've got 17 centimetres. I've got 17 millimeters outside to outside. So then you'll get your whale tool, put it on one of the links, over the rivet of the backside, and once we wind this on, just make sure it's still straight, and we want to get a pair of grips and we just want to tighten, just nip it up onto there, release, because you want to push this plate on evenly. So now on to the other one. Give this a bit more of a tweak than the last. See, that is now starting to push the link, the rivet heads through the plate. back onto the first one. There shouldn't be too much resistance in this either. There is a bit of resistance because obviously it's tight going on, but you know, you shouldn't be needing to force it. You should be going with a fairly consistently firm feeling, firm sinking feeling. Okay, that's now on there. Now before we rivet the links, we've got to measure just to make sure that the chain is okay. The chain link is okay, it's the same width as the other ones, so then you haven't over pinched it. Right, so now I'll try and make this bit slightly quick because I've just noticed a 10% battery life on my GoPro. I'd like to try and do this without having to change the battery. Right, very important that you make sure there is no grease in these little divot holes, because they are blind holes, which means they don't go all the way through. They are just literally a drill out. Alright, grease can act like a fuel under compression, just like a diesel engine goes bang. I once was doing the chain, I think it was the last time I was doing the chain on my bike actually. I had a tiny little bit of grease in this hole, or one of these holes, and I didn't realise, and two, didn't even really think about it, and I put the rivet tool on and I compressed down, and with this type of tool, wherever the end is, this is the end that goes in, it sits into the end of the divots and it splays it out, which basically is compressing that hole, and it compressed the grease in there, and it really went bang. It blew this off the chain and out of my hand. There was a puff of smoke and a little spark. I shit a brick and wondered what the hell had happened, and then come to realise, remembering back to my college days of compression ignition, the more you compress and squeeze something, especially if it's combustible, it will go bang. This is why oxygen tanks are so dangerous, because oxygen is obviously a fire accelerant. So with them holes cleaned out, making sure there's no grease or anything inside them, even a bit of fluff, you're then just lining the pin up into the rivet hole. You're then trying to find your adjustable spanner, or 24 if you've got one to hand, and you just want to tighten until it stops progressively. So, because it is tight, because you're bending and deforming metal obviously, but then it's going to get tight and stop. Alright, you end up with a splayed link like that. Let's get closer. See the difference? And that's what it needs to look like. So we just get that other one done. And then we can tension the wheel. Right, so now with that on, all you want to do is adjust your little adjusters. Some bikes have them on the back here, some on the front. All do exactly the same thing, and just push and it's on the axle and just set it into a exact place. So just get these wound out. Right, so on the R6 you have markings here, so you can just easily count and make sure they're the same each side, but other bikes don't, and the way to do it would be to either use a ruler or a vernier gauge or something like that, and just make sure this is equal, both sides. But you can get most of your way there on the chain side first, just to get the ideal tension on the chain. So you just want to wind this up, alright, and the slack in the chain you're looking for is around an inch, inch and a half, yeah, so around sort of 20 mil or so slop. Right, you don't want it super loose like a motocross bike, right, and you don't want it super tight either. Tight chain will wear out your sprockets and chain a bit easily, so you want a nice little bit of slop. This is a brand new chain, so you can set it slightly, I tend to set it slightly tighter, because they're going to stretch anyway. Then you just make a note, mental note here of how many we've got. So we've got just under 4 on there. This is quite long, this chain, but it saves having to cut it down, and also the longer you make your wheelbase, the better handling your bike will be, and the less front end happy it will be as well. Now we've got the ideal spacing set and the chain at the ideal tension. What you then want to do is make sure your wheel's all the way forward and just tighten the axle nut. Once the axle nut is tight, you just want to make sure you've got no tight spots along the way. Adjust if necessary, and then all you want to do is just put a tiny little bit of tension on these, just so they're pushing against. Right, so now you just want to wind your lock nut all the way up and just very lightly nip it. You don't want it tight because you don't want it to seize up. So there we go, guys, that's the end of this video. Just a quick little how-to on how to fit a chain. Like I say, if you haven't got one of them whale tools, you can't justify the cost of one, then there are plenty of usable, very good chain link tools. Just avoid the cheap ones, because you will literally use them once, and even then probably not very successfully. So always use a decent quality tool. The whale riveter is not so much of a you can get the adapters. That's the only problem with that. You have to buy extras to be able to sort of like remove chain links and stuff. So, you know, when it comes to removing chain links, I just tend to just cut them off with you know, with a little die grinder and a little flap wheel. Grind them off and then just pop them off with a screwdriver, easy as that. So I've never worried about popping chains off, so it's perfect for me. But like I say, just invest in a decent quality tool if you wanted to use it more than once. So hope the video's been useful to you guys. Please drop a like and hit the subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and I'll think of another how-to get out to you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.